Walter was living in Hawaii at the time of Pearl Harbor, and he actually witnessed the attack.
I was 13 and a half. We stood there on the porch watching everything. I saw both raids. There was a lull, and half hour later, another squadron came and finished up the work that they started at Pearl Harbor. But since we're Japanese, we're a suspect.
Thanks to our partnership with the Gary Sinise Foundation, I'm proud to announce that this is our 16th Soaring Valor trip.
The Gary Sinise Foundation partnership with the National World War II Museum is one of the most valued partnerships we have at the museum.
Like Pearl Harbor, the surprise attacks on 9/11 came from the sky.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for your service.
But the attack in 2001 came from passenger planes. 2 of them marked with the red, white, and blue colors of American Airlines.
Gene, this is your student right here. How are you? Good.
Hi.
But while my generation answered the call in 2001, our stories pale in comparison to what you endured. As you embarked upon ships, set sail to foreign lands that many had never heard about, sometimes for 2, 3, or even 4 years, and you'd wondered if you'd ever see your families again. So on behalf of my generation, and on behalf of all Americans, I thank you for your great service to our nation and for your sacrifice. Welcome aboard, Soaring Valor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for your service to us all volunteers. Thank you, guys. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Are you the pilot?
I am, sir.
Have you ever piloted before?
I have.
Well, let's go. We're going to have a great time in New Orleans. In fact, I'm hoping to get to Bourbon Street while I'm down there.
Were you a senior?
I am a senior.
What are you going to do next year?
Did you bring your report card?
No. Are we having fun?
Oh yeah!
We're having fun. We're going to have more fun when we get to New
More
Orleans.
fun, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got lots of special passengers aboard this airplane. But we've got one very, very special young man who's on board. It's his first flight in an airplane. At American Airlines, we have a very special tradition for first-time flyers. We want to present him with some very special wings. Normally the kids we give them to are a little younger, but we'll make an exception for Cody. Welcome aboard.
Here's another World War II hero!
Nice reception.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to New Orleans. Oh.
Hey, you're Hubba Hubba.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go.
All the people, lines of people shaking hands. I mean, to me, that was my homecoming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm choked up. Yeah. Great experience.
We're so glad to have you.
What a welcome.
Hello, welcome to your museum. Thank you for coming and for your
Glad to have you with us.
I think that's a P-51. Because if he had a belly, it's on it.
It really is a great honor to be gathered here tonight to pay tribute to the 41 World War II veterans that have traveled from Cincinnati to be here at the museum. So let's start by giving our World War II veterans a round of applause.
This is so amazing because I know that I learned about you in history class.
Everybody in this room has a story, and everybody in this room has a voice.
We went through France and Germany, into Czechoslovakia.
To be able to actually incorporate the kids into this program.
I'm from Czech Republic, from Prague, and this is
awesome.
where those kids can hear from the World War II veterans themselves.
I've never really learned much about the Air Force, so to learn about the different planes and how he fought in the B-25 was really awesome.
I mean, when else are we going to get that?
No mufflers anywhere, so all B-25 guys are, I would say, deaf.
Think about the greatest generation and how fast we're losing them every day. I mean, we have everybody from the low 90s up into the hundreds.
Our hometown hero, Mr. Lawrence Brooks, we believe is the oldest World War II veteran at 109 years old, sir.
Our mission statement is to tell the story of the American experience in World War II, why it was fought, how it was won, and what that means today so that future generations understand the price of freedom.
He rang the bell, so I said, okay, you guys jump, and they just stood there. They looked at me and said, sir,
Where would they jump from?
From the waist, from the door there. Yeah, there's a door there.
It's been a really fun experience so far because I've always learned about World War II in the history books, but with Henry, I've been able to hear personal stories, which is really interesting.
The student component to the Gary Sinise Foundation Soaring Valor trips make me borderline emotional.
It brought back city memories.
It's hard to talk about it because it's such a beautiful thing.
I'm so glad the kids come with us.
These 40 students from Archbishop McNicholas High School in Cincinnati are having an unbelievable trip and a chance of a lifetime to be able to interact with a World War II veteran in our galleries.
Norton bomb sight is something the bombardier used. He'd peer through it, and when they got to the right point, well then he'd toggle, and the bomb would go down.
I want to be a history teacher after college, so this was a good learning opportunity for that.
We've brought 15 juniors and 25 seniors.
I'm proud to be associated with Corey. He's a fine young man.
We encourage the juniors and senior class to write essays.
I wrote about my great-grandfather, whom I didn't get the chance to meet, but he fought in World War II. He fought in the European theater as well.
They'll get much more of an educational experience talking to these vets in 2.5 days than if I were to talk to them an entire class year.
In school we learn where the battles are and who won, but we never learn what someone who was there actually went through while they were there. And I think more people need to learn about that, like what war is actually like.
When you were 18 in 1943, you went in the Army.
One of our students actually, one of their grandparents has some memorabilia here in the museum, and he incorporated that into his essay.
My grandpa, Frank Bushmeyer, flew in a B-17, and he has oral history in the museum. Some history of how he flew in a plane and it got damaged up really bad, and then he was able to survive still.
It's so surreal to be here and be able to talk to Chuck here, and it's really awesome.
I've always had an overview of the war, but I never actually knew what went on.
I didn't know much about World War II. I knew what happened, I knew the basics, but when we went through the museum, there was so much more in-depth information, and it was just shocking what these men went through.
And then to top it all off with them three gals singing, I thought that was really great. And they are great.
Don't sit on the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me.
Till I come marching home.
The National World War II Museum has a great entertainment space called BB's Stage Door Canteen. It's a recreation of a 1940s USO theater. We have our team, the Victory Bells, that really models themselves after the Andrews sisters. It's really fun to see those guys, those 95-year-old World War II veterans, act like they're 18 years old again, enjoying the music, dancing, singing.
Whatever Lord the wants. Lola, I thought her name was Allison. Lord, I guess.
Well, I am a dancer, you know that. I've been dancing all my life.
So it's a great way to highlight an often forgotten part of World War II, which was entertainment.
Brings back a lot of memories. Yeah.
Thank you for coming to see us.
You made me cry.
Look at that group. Woo!
I would never forget this. This is just once in a lifetime experience.
It's been incredible getting to know Walter and his story.
I have a lot of friends who are interested in history and who wanted to go on this trip but unfortunately couldn't. And I'm so excited to tell them all about it. We're all, like, all the students have been talking, we're so excited to go back and brag about all the cool things we got to see and hear about.
Changed my thoughts on young folks today, you know. Being with this guy is a new experience, believe me.
It's just been really eye-opening being able to see what people had to go through just to get through life at my age right now.
Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you.
This generation's not going to be around forever. We're going to lose a big piece of our history. The only way we can preserve it is to continue telling the stories of others.
Attention on the aircraft. Some of you World War II vets, I know you'll remember that most important time of your day, whether it was in training before you went overseas, on a ship at sea, or in the muddy fields of Europe, or the sandy beaches of the Pacific. There was one thing you always looked forward to, and it was that mail from home. Mail call!
Time I had and how much it means to me that I got to come.
One more big hug, absolutely.
Great trip, great trip.